Tonight, I wanted to thank you guys for coming because it is an emotional time and there's a lot going on and there's a lot of things going on in our heads, but we have to keep ourselves in check. And so, coming together and staying together and being a part of this community is certainly special. And I think we all know that because there's a lot of people that don't necessarily have that community and a safe space to talk to and go to, and sometimes just to see smiling faces. Uh, and and that's what we really thank you for being a part of that because it takes a village. It takes every single one of us in order to make that happen. And so to spend your time Monday, Wednesday, Thursday, and then of course the work it calls in the morning and the afternoon is a big commitment. But this is how it's kind of like our new life, being together, being in the community, receiving the positivity from each other, giving it, receiving it, spreading it out to other people, and then just creating this community so that more and more people can come. And you know, I had a girlfriend ask me Saturday night. I actually went to a party, and there were less than 15 people, but she was asking me about it because she's watched me in this business for the last 6 years. And she's like, what do you think it is now that has helped you to be where everything is at this moment? And I'm like, I really believe it's the community aspect. You know, and people are gaining weight and they're stress eating and they're home more, and they're trying to figure that out. But more than ever, I think really people know that they need this community and that they need to be together and that we've always offered it. And now they really truly understand that. So I want to thank you guys for being a part of my community and giving me this space. Means a lot. So we're going to go through just a couple quick announcements because there's some fun stuff coming up, and then we'll dive right into some health information. But Shake Sneak Peek, Tuesday, June 9th, Isogenics will be unveiling the latest shake release. So catch a sneak peek, start following them on Instagram and participating in the social media festivities starting up today. Who's been following? Has anyone been following? All right, got to get on Instagram. Do you have any ideas, Kimberly?
No.
I don't either. I have a lot of ideas, but I really am clueless. The dairy-free vanilla chai is back, so all back orders should be filled. The organic greens canister, that they're still having problems with the canister. That was a COVID effect. The greens are still available. You'll just now receive them in the sticks, and they will not charge you any difference. So order it as a canister, receive the sticks, no price difference. Business calls. We do, of course, always have a huge lineup of business calls to choose from. So this week, there's opportunity meeting, Why Isogenics, Why Now, with Laura Stevens, and that's tomorrow, 7 p.m. Eastern. Business training, which is how to attract more business builders. That's the 4th, Thursday at 2 p.m. Eastern. Product training with Dr. Eric Gumpret, and I think I said that right. He's awesome. If you've never heard him speak, I think he is from Switzerland, I believe, but he's incredible, and he has such a great accent. And of course, all of our scientists are funny. I don't know how we got funny scientists, but he is as well. And that's at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. This is already posted in our product page, and so Kimberly, go ahead and grab that for your group as well. But it's already posted. And then Celebration Live. Right, so Celebration is now live for every single person. Of course, this will be our biggest event ever, and we're going to have hundreds of thousands of people attend. It is the weekend of July 15th, 16th, 17th. I'm doing that from memory, and it's free, of course. We're also going to be joining the Zija family with us. And so, you know, we need to come up with some ideas, and maybe we'll do like a little contest of ideas of how we can do this together. You know, do we do it at home by ourselves? Do we get together? You know, we'll come up with some kind of contest. Anyways, those are updates for today. So as far as this goes, let's talk about stress eating. Does anyone feel like you have a little bit of stress eating happening? I know I do.
Absolutely.
Okay. And we know we're not alone. If we're having trouble, think of how many other people that don't have the community, they don't have the nutrition, they don't have a solution. How many other people are dealing with this? So it really is a time where we need to share whether or not you're interested in this as a business or receiving free food or anything like this. We need to do this just to help people. We need to share. Saturday, again, I found out the hostess sleeps 2 to 3 nights a week. And she's a mom of 3, and she's that go-getter, has a really large house that she takes care of by herself, and she sleeps 2 to 3 nights. So she came over this morning and I loaded her up with stuff. And we've got to listen to people's thoughts and comments. Well, not their thoughts, but hear their thoughts. Listen to their comments and find out what's happening, what's going on, so that we can help them, because we really truly have a solution for a lot of stuff. And in some cases we say everything, but we do have to listen and pay attention and hear them and then just offer. And that's all it is just offering. And, my suggestion today, which I've offered Isogenics to her for 2 years. So hear me out with that. She's heard about it. I think I've given her stuff because I always do. And I do a lot of giveaways at the school and stuff like that. And half the people in our class use the product. So it's not that she's not familiar with it, but I had to find her moment for her to be okay with it. It wasn't me finding a moment to help her with her pain point. It was a moment where she was okay to listen to it. And it basically came down to, no, I never sleep. And I really need to. I really need to sleep. I'm like, great. Can you come over? We'll go through some different things. Let's check it out and let's just see what this does for you. And she took her goodies, and we'll find out tomorrow if anything made a difference. But I know it will. And that's when she came over. I gave her that confidence of, I have the solution. I just need to know, are you willing? Are you open? And will you actually do this and be consistent? And those are some of the key words that I ask people quite often, because if they're not consistent, it may or may not work. If they're not open, then you're just talking to a black wall, right? You've got to find out, are you open? Do you want to fix that? Do you want to take care of that? And can you do it every day? And if that's the case, then you can go in and you can help someone. And we do have all those solutions. So for stress eating, let's talk stress eating. One of the best things for stress eating, there's a few, but one is to make sure you get a bottle of the liquid ionics, and always have that handy in the refrigerator. I think we have 2 or 3 bottles here. I'm really the only one that does it. Brad doesn't. He likes the powder version, but it's here and it's available at all times. And the key is every time you open the refrigerator, you take a nice long big drink. Try to get a shot, or at least half of a shot, depending on how often you're doing it. But by the end of the day, if you're doing it because it's stress, if you can get 2 shots in throughout the day, that's perfect. You can leave it in the refrigerator for 30 days. It just has to be refrigerated, but it lasts for 30 days. It's a 30-day supply. So depending on how many you're having, you'll run through it accordingly. Now, if you don't have the liquid, I know, I don't think Journey's on tonight, but something that Journey did for her husband, who is extremely stressed, is every day she would make him a pitcher of ionics, 2 scoops or 2 servings of ionics, and 1 serving of the orange hydrate. And she put it in a jug. And after he came home from work, that's what she drinks. And Jamie just said that that's what she does as well. That's your drink. It's cold. It's refreshing. It tastes good, guys. It tastes really super good, especially when you add that orange hydrate to it. It's almost like that shake when your body's really dehydrated and you just can't get enough. It's the same thing with ionics and orange hydrate. You just can't get enough and you just want to drink the whole thing. So it's really easy to drink. And the ionics is an adaptogen. If you're not quite familiar with adaptogens and ionics, what it is, simple version, is it's an x-ray from your head to your toes. It's looking for where you're off. Are you off in your head? Are you off in stress? Are you off in energy? Are you not sleeping? You got to understand that ionics will provide really everything. Do you have stress in your body? Do you have stress in your head? It takes away cravings. Food cravings. It really truly does so many different things. But if the lights are on and it's daytime, it's going to wake you up and give you that energy. If the lights are off and there's no noise, you're signaling to your brain that it's bedtime. It will help to quiet the brain. And that's where people are really suffering right now. The brain is constantly thinking, or they're watching a lot watching a lot of TV and a news right now. And then they're just going through this rabbit hole. We fell asleep with the TV on. I fell asleep this afternoon. I took a nap while I was catching up on the news. I never watched the news, never watched the news, but I'm watching the news today because of everything going on. And I went down a rabbit hole and just think of all that stuff that was going on in my head while I'm trying to rest and revive myself. And I left the news on. It's not good. It's not good whatsoever. So, ionics is something that we can take to help relieve ourselves, but we just have to be good at turning off the TV or not going down the rabbit hole. But that's one thing for stress eating. Now, also, of course, water. And you know our group always pushes water, but water is really that mainstay that, again, like ionics, helps with everything. So if you're feeling stressed, if you're getting the cravings, if you feel like you need to stress eat, just seriously make yourself have a glass of water. Just force it on you. If you like cold water because it's hot outside right now, make sure you have cold water handy. Whatever you like, make sure it's convenient, right? If you like a cold beer, make sure you have a few of them in the fridge. If you like a coldie shot, make sure you have a few of them in the refrigerator as well. You've got to take care of yourself, not have the afterthought of, oh, well, too bad it's warm. Or, okay, well, I can have a glass with ice, but it's that extra step. And do you want that extra step? Because when you're stressed and you're not thinking clearly, those extra steps may be a bigger deal. So just prepare, not just prepare your meals, prepare your drinks, prepare your stress relief, prepare the things that you need. ISA snacks. They are not an exciting go-to whatsoever, right? But who really truly does love ISA snacks? All right, so I'm the only one raising my hand. Um, now, who knows and who really understands what ISA snacks do? That's why you're not raising your hand. ISA snacks are like the magic. They really, truly are magic. But the key is, and I kind of make fun of this stuff, but in reality, think about it. When you're stressed and you're not thinking clearly, these little extra steps are a big deal. But ice snacks, we've got to undo the lid. We've got to pour it out. We've got to eat it, and you've got to have a glass of water because it doesn't work without a glass of water. It's worth it. It's so worth it. So whatever is helpful for you, if you have it in like a little Tupperware, if it's in a baggie and it's handy, whatever it is to help you to have them and on a regular day. And I know, Mary, you just pointed out you have them on cleanse days. I want to really highly recommend every day, every day. So I experimented a lot in the beginning of my career with isogenics and with people because I didn't know. And they, of course, didn't know. So we experimented. And so we just tried a lot of different things to see what was going to happen. How does it work? Does it make a difference? And so on. And some of the main things we found were the more ISIS snacks you do, the more weight you lose. Hands down, no question. I can't say that about anything else. That is the only food and product I can say 100%. Ionics, you can have as much as you want of, and you cannot overdose on it. You can't get too much. You're just going to flush out the extra B12 vitamins. With ISIS snacks, the more you have, the more weight you lose. Would you like me to say that again? The more ISIS snacks you have every single day, the more weight you'll lose. Done. Fact as far as I'm concerned. Isogenics, I don't know what they say, but from all the experiments that I've done, fact. Have your ISIS snacks. Eat them. And if you can just eat them, not do stuff with them. Like I have trouble with some of our customers who want to put them in their shake or ice adjusted or whatever, just to get the ISIS snacks in. I don't know how well that works. And if you're really truly in this to make a difference, you got to just eat them. So the girls that we've helped lose roughly 80 to 148 pounds did and still do eat 6 to 12 or 6 to 10 ice snacks a day. You're going to go through a lot of ice snacks. Doesn't matter. When you can drop weight and you can drop it really easily and fast just by eating those little ice snacks, do you care? All right, you're going to go through a lot of bottles. They're $21 for 60 of them. They're inexpensive compared to a lot of other foods and products. They're fast, they're easy. You can suck on them, you can chew them, you can do whatever you want. Just do them plain and always have that glass of water. And guess what? You'll get extra water while doing more ice snacks because you have to have a glass of water every 2 and do 2 at a time. One doesn't quite work the same way, just like with shakes. 1 shake a day is maintenance. 2 shakes a day is weight loss. Ice snacks, I don't know this for a fact, but you gotta, it just for enough satiation, you need to have 2 ice snacks. Just go for it. All right, so don't worry about the price. Buy them 6 bottles or more at one time. Get your 10% off. Or if you're buying vitamins or isogenesis or anything like that, you get 10% off your extra orders. So use your way of getting discounts. Also, guys, if you have people who are brand new, and Kenya's helping me with this, so I'm actually still learning this little secret. But you have to be brand new. It doesn't work after you're already in. But supposedly, if you start off this way, you can continue this little secret forever, but you can't change anything. You have to have 1 item from our 3 different main pillars, which will include a pack. So if they're brand new, they get a pack. Then if you add another weight loss or one of our pillar items, which is cleanse, ionics, vitamins, or isogenesis, another item, I think from the essential line, and then another item from our vital line, like the greens, you can receive the regular 25% plus the 10% because of the vitamins and an additional 15% off. So I'm still working to figure this out, and we've got to have a new person to kind of play with in order to do this. So just kind of keep this in mind. When you're ready and you have that person, play with that. And then Kenya's going to be taking some snapshots for us of some things that she's done in the past, but she's been able to get people these huge discounts, but they have to continue that same program. They can change their stuff, but it's a special formula of having a different thing in each of those categories to receive those huge discounts. Have them get extra snacks. If they have a lot of weight to lose and they get this extra 25% off, have them get a ton of ice snacks. They will love you and thank you because they will drop weight like crazy and they received a huge discount. So those are like really the main things. Of course, you know, we have all of these other foods to help with the cravings and the stress. And you guys know about them with, like, of course, with the peanut butter bites and the chips and the stuff like that. Because when you're hungry and you're stressed, you want to munch. Is everybody a muncher when you're stressing, or does somebody have a different stress? Is there another type of stress eating that anyone has? Or is it munching? Little pieces of munching, right? That crunch and so on. So we have our whey chips. Cut up your peanut butter bites. And if you want to, maybe roll them in granola or something like that. But when you're stressed, you don't want to think about that stuff. You just want to do it. So you need to have these things pre-planned. So think about your triggers and think about what makes you happy, and then spend an hour or 2 hours pre-planning to have these things available and handy. And that will help you to have your stress eating. However, you're doing it in an isogenics healthy way. And that's great. Another, I don't consider this a stress relief of any kind, but if you do like to munch, something that's really not healthy for you, it's not really necessarily nutritious, but you can make it more nutritious, is to air pop popcorn and put coconut oil and Himalayan salt. So no microwave popcorn, get that out, throw that away, of course. And Himalayan salt, not regular salt, and no butter, but the coconut oil. So you're making it a healthier treat. If you need a munch, you can have that stuff made. Now, coconut oil, you can't pre-make that, right? Because that's just gonna harden and become gooey and funky. You gotta do that at that time. But if that's something that you have the ability to make something and just eat it, and you like to munch, that's a great little direction to go. All right, so those are my suggestions on stress eating and some triggers. Does anyone want to come on and talk about it, talk about any of those things or a different suggestion or another area that you might want some suggestions with? Okay, let's talk about our ups and downs. So emotional balance. Is anyone going through some emotional imbalance right now? All right. So Ionics really is your friend. And when you have in the refrigerator and you drink it all day long, that's going to be the best suggestion. But sometimes when we're emotionally imbalanced, some people don't eat. They don't open the refrigerator. So to have that trick of the liquid Ionics isn't going to work. So you need to teach people or yourself to make that container, that jug of the Ionics and hydrate. If you don't need hydrate, great. It just adds more volume and it changes the taste for people. So whatever you need, you do, right? It doesn't matter. Whatever you need. Hold on one second.
Back.
Jackie, I'm just gonna mute you, but feel free to talk to us if that's what you wanted to do. But if you have people who are like, I don't eat, that's the thing. When I stress, I don't eat. Right, so those are your people who really truly like a lot of caffeine and they drink a lot of coffee in the morning or throughout the day. And a typical pattern of what happens when you have people like that is a lot of times when they come home, they're either going to gouge on a lot of food. One second, baby, gouge on a lot of food, or they tend to go to alcohol. And I saw that come up in the chat. I wasn't quite sure. If that's just your stress relief, I didn't quite get to see that.
Yeah, it's okay. Something to do instead of eating alcohol.
Not everybody, as long as you play. Thank you for asking, babe. Okay, so do you drink coffee, Mary?
Occasionally.
And you're not a big coffee person. Okay, so that's good.
I like the smell, but not necessarily the taste.
I'm with you, totally with you. And that's good because I've seen that pattern with so many people that they drink a lot of coffee in the morning, they go through a pot or whatever, they're full of caffeine. And so they feel like they're satiated, so they don't eat. And then that's when they come home and gouge or drink the alcohol. So that is really something that we have to talk to people about and ask them. And is that what they want? Or do they want to change that? And whenever you're talking to someone, especially if they're stressed, just ask them, is that what you want? Or would you like to change that? Because we don't want to change someone that doesn't want to be changed at that moment. Now we know that this program changes people and it changes their thoughts and they gear more towards protein and vegetables and they leave those other things aside once they start the program. So we don't want to verbally tell them we're going to change them if they don't want to be changed. You just let that happen naturally. And sometimes I'll throw the comment in of that's fine, no problem. Just know that sometimes it happens.
Yeah.
And so I give them the mindset that, oh, maybe it will happen, because they probably do want to change it. They just don't think they want to, or they don't know how, or they don't want to fail. But if you're just like, no problem whatsoever, not a big deal, just know that it does happen a lot of the times. And it really, truly does. I've seen it over and over and over again. And especially with sodas too. People that are addicted to sodas really don't like the taste of it after 4 days. So it's a way to really help change all of those things. But so where was I going? Oh, so Ionics. So many times we have to help people like that who aren't used to eating. They're not used to really having too much of a schedule. We may have to help them get that schedule, or just get that big jug in the morning, 2 scoops, 2 doses of Ionics, a serving or 2, I'd say probably 1 of the hydrate, depending on how big their container is, and then just have them sip that and drink that throughout the day. And a lot of times they may also just want to sip. They're not big guzzlers, and they might just want to sip on stuff. So that's fine. Just let them sip on it all day. Ionics doesn't go bad. Hydrate doesn't go bad, especially if it's chilled, even if it's not. It just needs to be shaken up and drunk. And they can drink that all day long. And that helps with so many things. Of course, it's going to help with the cortisol levels and the serotonin and the stress levels and the imbalance and the cravings. But it just keeps them aware and there and brain focused and all the great things that Ionix does. And then they're putting something to their lips. So try to find out what their situation is. If they're not coming here for necessarily for a program, but they're coming to you because you have a solution to help with the stress or any of those things, these are some really easy ways to talk to your friend and just ask them, what will you do? What works for you? Is people that are very stressed out right now, they have a pattern. And they don't want to or know how to change that pattern. They don't want to add another stress onto their lives. They want to fix it, but they don't want to add. So you just ask them, what will you do? And there's so many ways to make this work. So know with Ionix, you can make it work any way they want. With our shakes, they really truly can get a shake in any time of the day and have results. It doesn't matter if it's 10 o'clock at night, 10:30 at night. I've often done that. The first one matters, but until you get people in a pattern, if that's not what they're looking for, you don't have to stress about it, but we promote it as much as possible, right? This is all depending on their goals. Like if they tell you, I want these results and I'm willing to change anything and everything to make this happen, they follow the schedule that Isagenix gives them. Right? No questions about it. They made the investment. Don't mess with it. That's the schedule, except you always do 2 cleanse days, not 1. But if they are just wanting some solutions and they just want to change a few things, but they don't want to be stressed, they don't want to change a whole lot in their life because it's too much already, not a problem. Here's what I have to offer. Here's some different ways to take it. How will you? What works for you? Always just remember, it's all about your customer. This program works as long as they get it in. So with the shake, if they can have a shake, and this is how I say it to them, if you can have a shake first thing in the morning, it's best to have it within the first 2 hours of waking up. You'll increase your serotonin and your happiness. You'll decrease your cortisol levels in your tummy, and you'll feel great. And you do want to drink it within about 10 to 15 minutes. It tastes better and it'll look better. And then you get your live enzymes. Is that doable? Yes. Okay, great. Is it doable to replace another meal with a shake? And if they say, I don't know, if they say yes, then of course you're golden, right? It's the program. But if they say, I don't know, my schedule's really off, I'm not used to having dinner, oftentimes I get off track, I'm used to having a pot of coffee all day, I'm used to grabbing a beer when I come home. If that's what they typically do, then not a problem. As long as you can get a second shake in sometime throughout the day before you go to bed. Preferably, you replace a meal, lunch or dinner. But as long as you get it in, what we want to show people is the flexibility. Now, again, if they have big goals and they have things and they're willing to do anything and everything you say, this is not the conversation you have with them. These are for people who are stressed out and they don't know what else to do. All right, so this isn't the regular, just so we all understand, this is separation, okay? So people who aren't going to follow the regular program, this is how you talk to them. Not a problem. What will you do? Can you do this? This is how it should be done. Does that work for you? Shakes are going to relieve a lot of stress as well, and shakes relieve a lot of cravings. Have you ever had like the situation where you're like just super hungry and you can eat and you're never satisfied? Right? I do that. And then as soon as I'm like, I should have just had a shake, because as soon as you have that shake, you're completely satisfied. So help people with that. Talk to them about that. Find out what are their triggers. If they're shaky, maybe they do a lot of caffeine. And guys, people are very stressed right now again. So they're doing things they don't want to be doing. And they're doing things that they know they shouldn't be drinking, whether it's the coffee, the caffeine, the monsters, the, smoking. All of that stuff is happening possibly a lot more than it has than it usually is. And everybody's schedule's off, right? If they're protesting or watching the protesting or talking about it, or, just everything's off. It's just off right now. So if they want something to help calm them, satiate them, and maybe take away if they're shaky, maybe they're really stressed or anxiety or imbalanced or anything like that, and they can't calm down. Ionics first of all, but a shake will do that too. A shake just goes down and just makes everybody feel better. Now, I don't drink a lot, but occasionally I do. And so if you ever have a hangover, you know how you are that next morning sometimes when it's just really not good and you're shaky. As soon as you have that shake, it's like your body just revived itself of all the vitamins and hydrated itself and feel better. You can do that at any time. So these are some different ways to help people. Or if they have upset stomachs, from nervousness, not because of a bug or something like that, but from nervousness, a shake. It just coats the body. It just makes them feel good again. All right, some other things that you guys want to bring up or talk about. I'm going to look through the comments. All right, so Mary brought up the Fitbit, warned you of your anxiety stress levels. So Mary, what do you do when that happens? How do you handle that?
I was saying that was something I wish it would.
Oh, okay. I don't have one, so
yeah.
I don't know.
No, you're okay. But it does
Adam
kind of
said
let
that
you
too.
know when your heart rate is up. So in that instance, it's usually because I've just taken a walk. So I definitely I take some time to kind of just relax. Like I'll walk slower, or I'll just take some deep breaths or what have you.
Okay, so let's talk about it, because a couple of you brought it up. You wish there was a way for your body to have like that little zing of, whoa, settle down your anxiety levels. Does anyone know and feel when you are off balance? So I'll talk about myself. So I know. Now, do I always choose to do something? I don't know. Can you guys hear me okay with the background noise? No, I can shut the door. Okay. So I know. Again, it's a choice of if I change it, but there's different things that happen to me that I'll know. First of all, I do feel kind of like heat happening. And thank you. I feel like I'm getting a little red. Like right now, actually, I'm feeling that heat because I thought about it. I talked about it. So all of a sudden it's starting to happen. I'm getting a little warm in different places. That's one way I know. And so right now, what I'm telling myself is I really need a glass of cold water, and I really should throw some ionics in there. And then all of a sudden I will calm down. That's a trigger for me. I can feel my heart racing. I can feel like the shortness of breath and all of that, and just my head starting to spin. And that's where you take those deep breaths. And if you can meditate, fantastic. Or go get a glass of water, add an ionics, and just give yourself that moment. So does anyone else have little triggers that you feel that you're starting to get off balance? The more we talk about these, the more we help other people, just so you know that. It's never personal. It's just always about helping other people.
Social media, for sure.
Okay, right. So how do you feel when you're going through the social media? Do you have certain triggers that happen to you?
Well, for one, it would be, right now there's so many things going on with protesting, whether it be local, whether it be, in Michigan, where have you. It's just, and now today I'm finding out that there could potentially be protesting this afternoon or this evening in my hometown. And I'm going, ooh, that's definitely a trigger. It definitely gives me anxiety, and it's not anything I can do anything about. It's just worrying for others.
So tell me, how do you feel? Do you have a trigger in your body that tells you you're starting to have that imbalance?
Right now, it's heart's racing. It's harder to talk. I feel like my throat closes a little bit.
Yep. I have that too. Okay. So we're almost done. Go have a glass of ionics.
Yes, ma'am.
We have the solution, and I don't want to be funny about it or be weird about it or anything, but it really truly is a solution. And the more we understand that, the more we can take ourselves to that level. Has anyone ever given someone ionics that's off? And like my mom has a lot of anxiety, and I see it with her. She starts talking very fast, and she just doesn't listen to me, and it's her head's moving, and you know, it's just, she's very close. You know, I know her triggers, and so I'd be like, Mom, do me a favor. And usually it happens in the kitchen, luckily. So I'll make her a little ionics and I'll have her drink it. And you can just see people just calm down. So when you have that happen, just do that. Just go that direction for one, so that you know that. And then two, you have your vice. You have your vice. It's so much better than going to a pill or doing something different. You have your vice. You just grab an ionics. That's why people like the liquid, because you're literally just taking a shot out of the bottle. We mark our bottles, we put our names on our bottles, and we just drink right out of the bottle. After COVID, I don't share bottles with anybody, and nobody shares with me, even my own family. So everybody has their marked bottle. It doesn't matter how much spit's happening around this house. Nobody drinks out of my bottle. And so, right, Diana, steroids have made her anxious at time. Ionics, and Diana does do a lot of ionics. She's talked about that quite often. She does a lot of ionics to help her throughout. It's all right. It's all good. We know what we need. E-shots. E-shots can do the same thing. And then again, they're really quick. They're easy. And if you like them chilled, keep them chilled. Do what you need to do. If you like them chilled, make sure that they're always chilled. You'll do them more, and you'll do them for a better reason when you like how they taste and what they do. Now, ionics is going to give you some of that caffeine, so just know accordingly. Is that something you can handle or not, based on the time of the day? And if not, you can just have a sip of it. You can have half of it. If you have a really bad day and you're like early on, you can take a small little drink of it, add some ionics to it, shake it up, and drink it. And then you've got the power whammy of I can do anything. So you can play with it. And Debbie, I loved your face when you heard that. I mean, these are just simple little things. You don't have to have the whole thing. Do what you need. Just do what you need. That's what this is for. Isogenics is a health program to offer people what they need.
So is that what's keeping me up at night?
Well, I don't know. What are you doing?
Because I'll drink ionics before bed. Is that what's keeping me awake?
So what time?
I'll take it like an hour before bed with my Isoflush.
Okay, and so what happens between that hour before you're going to bed? Are lights on, TV on, music on, talking? Yep, that's exactly what's happening. So ionics is a brain booster. And so when you take it, it starts with your brain, and it's like, okay, what does Debbie need? Oh, well, Debbie needs energy because Debbie's speaking and the lights are on and things are happening. It's daytime. So Debbie, tonight, get a glass, lay down in bed, lights out, TV out, drink your ionics. See if that makes a difference. Adam, liquid versus powder. All right, so here's my take on this. There is a difference, but it's all based on what you need. And I have both here. I buy both. I have been buying both for 7 years. I keep the liquid in the refrigerator for my nice, quick, easy, fast drink, especially when I need it, or if I'm craving something, or if I'm dehydrated or whatever. I want my quick, easy drink. I use powder in the morning, which is my routine. That's just my routine. I like the taste better of the powder. So the powder has more of a cinnamon apple, spiced apple. The liquid is much more botanical. But it's more powerful. So the liquid form is going to give you more of the power and the adaptogens more than the powder, but the taste is accordingly. So you've got to just kind of pick what matters to you, or do you have one of each depending on what you need. Now, when you are adding it to the knee shot, the powder's better. Diana likes to add a stick. I add a scoop. All just depends on convenience and what you have. But you do have to drink a little bit of that e-shot in order to fit it in. So quick little drink, put it in, shake it up. But that's what I do when I drive. If I'm gonna be driving for a long distance or a really long day, or I really need brain focus, or I really need a ton of energy, it's automatic e-shot and ionics without a question. Yeah, let's see. All right, good. So Debbie, please try that and try again, consistency. It's consistency. You're not gonna necessarily have a knowledge from the first time. Do it a couple times and then come back and let us know, okay? But yeah, if you take ionics during the daytime, it's gonna give you energy. So when you take it at nighttime, what it's doing is it's helping the brain to shut down. It's helping the thinking to stop thinking. And it's allowing your body to relax. So let's talk about sleep. Does anyone have any sleep issues? And I really went over, I apologize. Kimberly likes to do an hour call. I like to get a half an hour in, and then I'm always somewhere right in the middle. So is there any sleep issues, or do you know people with sleep issues? You guys want to cover this real fast? Anyone? I just need one hand. If not, we won't. Okay. All right, Debbie. All right. So, okay. Thank you, Adam. So we really have 4/5 things to help with sleep. When I'm working with a client, I will somewhat kind of take them one at a time. But 2 of our items are in our regular program. So they're really kind of getting 3 things. But people with sleep issues, for the most part, have already tried this or that, and they're already frustrated and they don't want to keep adding a ton of stuff. So I try to keep it very simple. And I'm like, great, you're already doing our 30-day program. You're already taking the flush. To flush before bed, 30 to 60 minutes, helps to calm down your body. It's actually calming down your organs. It's magnesium. So it's keeping things nice and calm. So your organs in your body aren't excited. They're nice and calm. So that's flush. That's why we never skip flush for many different reasons. Ionics. We're already doing ionics at least once, twice, maybe 3-4 times a day. However, if it's your brain that's constantly thinking and your brain's not calming down, you've got to do that trick. Lights out, no music, no sound. I mean, meditation's fine, of course, but anything that is going to excite the brain has got to be turned off. Anything that helps the brain to relax is what you're looking for. Drink that. That calms that down. Our sleep spray. This is the first direction I go with people because this is the add-on. And it's $13, and it's like the most magical thing ever. I've been giving it to my kids forever. My kids get 1 squirt. Sometimes they take 2, 3, or 4 on their own, but they're knocked out. I don't recommend that. 1 squirt's fine. I take 3. And you have to spray it on your mouth, not your face, not your pillow. You have to spray it on your tongue, let it sit on your tongue for about 30 seconds, and then swallow it. But sleep spray is melatonin, lavender, and chamomile. And pretty much almost everyone I know does get knocked out by it. In about 5, 10, 20 minutes, all depending on the person. Now, if you're someone who is constantly waking up in the morning, 2 or 3 a.m., those are patterns. And they're actually patterns that we've had since childhood, right? Maybe when our mom nursed us or our parent gave us the bottle, or if you're a mom and you nursed your children, they may have woken up. It's patterns that you've been waking up for those hours for many, many, many years. That's hard to just fix, right? So thank your mom. No, I'm just kidding. Just kidding. I am a mom. So a couple things you can do with that. I would suggest having some protein before you go to bed. Protein before you go to bed feeds your body. It satiates your body. And go with no sugar if you can. If you don't have any right now and you want to have it tonight, have an isoline, but preferably Isopro or Tri-Release, because there's no sugar or carbs. It's like 1 gram. So your body's not getting that additional. But feed and satiate your body before you go to bed. And that's why we call it the bedtime belly buster. It's either Tri-Release or Isopro, the greens, and sleep spray and flush. Bedtime Belly Buster helps people to go into a deep sleep, helps people to relax, helps people to sleep throughout the night and wake up with energy and happiness. So protein makes a huge difference to you with that. So that's kind of my order with people. They're already doing flush. They're already getting ionics in their system. I just tell them to have another one at night. They still need more sleep spray. They still need more protein. Or if they just want to do it all, just bring it all in. And I have lots of clients who do all four. And I certainly have many times myself because it's our bedtime belly buster. If you wake up at the 3 a.m. time period and you know you're not going to get back to sleep, you just know it. Try 1 squirt of the sleep spray. Try a glass of the ionics. I have never tried flush or isopro at that hour. I don't know. But those 2 things have worked for me and several customers. But you just try it. Just give it a try. Ionics, you'll be great with. You'll wake up perfectly fine. I would only suggest 1 squirt of the melatonin. 2, it can get a little hard to wake up at your 6 or 7 o'clock a.m. if you haven't gotten enough of the REM, because the sleep spray takes you to REM sleep. All right, good, good. Adam, I like the thumbs up. That's wonderful. All right, guys, so it's 7 o'clock. Anything else you guys want to talk about before we get off? Has this been helpful?
Yes.
Okay. All right. So the secret is anything to increase creativity. Well, the brain focus. So yeah, so great question, Adam. That's actually really good because that's probably where a lot of people are suffering right now because we're in our rabbit holes and we're worried and we're stressed and we're thinking different things where it's blocking our serotonin and our creativity. So yeah, great question. So our brain boost, our ionics, you can see how we talk about the same products all the time. These are our pillars. These are the things that John Anderson and the Cougars realized. If we can get these pillars in people's bodies, this is what can help them. And for the most part, all ages. Now, certain ages we do different doses for, and we can talk about that a different time. But I do give my kids everything. There's very little I hold off on. I just do smaller amounts and not every day. But creativity, the brain boost for sure, or the ionics for sure. But we also have a brain boost, and it comes in a package with either the brain boost or brain boost and the sleep spray. So you'll always save a little bit of money when you buy things in a package. And that's obviously a package that goes really well together. Because if we don't get enough and the right amount of sleep, and I have one more trick with sleep, if we don't get the right amount, then our brain's not creative and it's not functioning well. So those brain boosts, they're turmeric. It's a lot of turmeric in them. They're amazing. And people notice the difference quickly with that. It's like, wow, all of a sudden lights are on, creativity, brain focus, you are awake and energized. It's great. Energy for the brain. And of course our vitamins. So the regular vitamins, isogenesis. Yep, and anti-inflammatory boost from the brain boost. Exactly. Your turmeric is going to be in there. So yeah, I mean, there's just so much to help with that. But I would definitely suggest looking at that, the vitamins, or just the isogenesis. Does everyone understand isogenesis, or does anyone want me to cover isogenesis? Okay, isogenesis, easy way to remember it and think about it is, with the shoe, and especially like a tennis shoe, you have shoestrings. When the shoestrings start to get old, the shoestrings start to fray. It's hard then to fit them through the little hole. It's hard to tie them, and they don't look good. Everything's just starting to fall apart. Inside of our bodies, at the end of our chromosomes and the DNA, we have what we call telomeres. And telomeres are little fingers that come off of our chromosomes. And that's what happens. As we age and as we get older, we're born with a certain amount. As we get older, they start to fray. So the isogenesis comes in to keep those shoestrings intact, or to maybe even close them up. Everybody's different, can't guarantee anything. You know, we cannot promise that this is going to cure, prevent, or treat any situation, but we see a lot of results and a lot of healing from like broken fingers or legs or whatever happen quicker when people are on the isogenesis. So, and we look better, we look younger, we feel younger. It's keeping that shoestring intact. You can take more isogenesis than what is suggested on the bottle. Right now, I'm taking more. I'm low on energy. I've gained some weight. I'm a little stressed and nervous. I need more brain focus. I've got everybody at home. You know, life is different for me. It's not happy-go-lucky like every day used to be right now. So I take more isogenesis, and bam, all of a sudden things have gotten better again. This stuff is amazing. So it suggests two pills 2 times a day. Also, if you're doing the regular AM PMs, you have 2 in each of the packets. So we prefer people do a minimum of 6 isogenesis a day. If you're not feeling the effects and you want to feel more, take more. When I'm on it, and I'm really on it 100%, I take 10. I have taken 12, not consistently, but like for certain occasions, because I really needed a sharp brain and I was busy with brain focus. So I would take more isogenesis. I actually go to isogenesis as more of a tool than E-shots or BS. They all have a place and they all have a purpose, but isogenesis provides many of those tools. All right, one other thing about sleep. Dr. Oz says set your alarm for when you need to go to bed, not for when you need to get up. If you aren't one that goes to bed at the right time, and that's why you're not getting enough sleep, set your alarm for when you need to go to bed. Simple little fix, right? All right, guys. Now, so I want to be very honest with you. You guys made me happy. I'm in a happy mood. I'm much happier than I was. I'm much more energetic than I was. I'm not going to go down the rabbit hole tonight. That's community, right? Does anyone feel happier over this last hour? We have to share this with people. Isogenics is not just shakes. It's not just a weight loss program. It's not just that. It provides so much more. And so we really, truly do have to share with people, especially right now. Just come. And I have a girl, and thank you guys for allowing me to say this, because I have a girl who I met Saturday who, she's like, I want to, she didn't say community. She's like, I want girlfriends who I can travel with. I want girlfriends who can be my mentors. That's actually what she said. I want girlfriends who would be my mentors. And I'm like, and I didn't have the moment then, but I wanted to call her today, so I will tonight or tomorrow and say, I can do that. We have that. If you want to jump on our tribe time on Tuesday afternoons, or if you want to come to the mornings, or if you want to come to any of our evenings. People don't necessarily have to sell isogenics. They don't have to even be on the program. Most likely they will by coming to this. But if you just want to offer a community to people, just the positive place, and a place where people like each other and we're not rude and we smile and we're helping, just offer it to them. Our product pages, exact same thing. We don't have any rules. We will, it's a big family. We're going to take everyone in, and there's no judgments. And that's one thing I really want to help people understand. And I say this to a lot of new clients. Everybody came to Isogenics for a reason. Did you guys all come here for a reason, right? Whatever your reason was, everybody came here and comes here for a reason. Don't be embarrassed because you need this or you need that, or you're searching or you're longing or you're praying or whatever. Everyone here came here for that. So that's why we don't have the judgment issue, because everybody had something. We all had something. And so we've bonded together, and we continue to hold each other's hands to help each other get past whatever that was that you came here to receive. So with that, I'll stay on if anyone has any questions. I want to thank you guys because you really have